This podcast was recorded on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
Guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. Thought we were going to harmonise, sorry.
No. Guys, thank you for joining us once again. Another week of Mad About You. It's actually our 25th episode, I believe, so a quarter of a century, which is
That
kind
is
of cool.
the same number as Christmas Day.
All right. Yeah, so guys, this week on the pod, we are... Jad's actually that excited about Christmas. I know,
I'm so
that's
excited.
a joke, but it's middle of October, and she gets excited for Halloween because that means after Halloween she can put up the Christmas decorations.
That's the only reason I get excited.
Which I actually don't mind about because I love Christmas as well. But yeah, I'm not a huge advocate of having them up for 3 months. But
Fletcher
each to their own.
wore his first Christmas PJs yesterday.
He vomited on it after like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. But it was really excited to see him in his first ever Christmas PJs.
Yeah, another 8 weeks and we can enjoy it properly.
Okay.
And guys, this week on the pod, we are diving into the topic of friendships in adulthood. The good, the bad, the ugly, breaking up with friends, different stages, and even making them as adults and whether or not that's easier, harder, how you do that, if it's, apps, real life, just everything there is to the chat about friendships as adults. We then have an interesting Ask Mum and Dad from a girl whose partner seems to be liking a few too many, as she quotes, baddies. Photos on Instagram.
Gosh.
So we'll have a little chit chat about that. But before we did get stuck into the main topics of today, 2 weeks ago, Jad and I randomly started chatting about that Facebook group called Sis, Are We Dating the Same Guy? To which we've recently seen in the news has stopped taking posts. Their admin have pretty much shut down the page and said we're not doing any more because there's started to be some libel suits through us in Australia for defamation, which has been quite interesting, whereby the owners of these groups or the people who started them have actually started to have to fork out quite large legal costs and bills to fight these defamation cases when people find themselves on these groups and want to fight them. So I think there was a case recently where a gentleman had to pay $25,000 out of pocket for legal fees for just running a Facebook group where a comment was made about a person and yeah. So someone's come forward, and then I think that sort of sparked the idea that perhaps it's actually easier. I think defamation laws in Australia changed in 2021 and made it a bit easier for people who own these groups to they're responsible for what happens on them, which is it's interesting, and I guess it kind of makes it a little bit scarier when you want to run one of these groups if you're going to have to monitor everything so tightly. So pretty much
risk versus reward. What are you really getting out of it apart from your kicks?
Yeah, a community of people looking out for each other, but at the same time, I think the ABC article said that the page was seeing a lot more like false accusations from people and a lot of like misinformation was out there.
About.
Yeah, which we did, and pretty much saying that like women were trying to stuff up people's relationships, out of jealousy and issues in the past. So yeah, just quite funny that we randomly came across, an instance where someone that I knew in the past got featured on the page, and that's how I came to even find out about it. And then 2 weeks later, the groups decided to shut down at the risk of copping some large legal fees.
Maybe our pod just kind of brought things to light.
Yeah, totally, man.
Do you reckon? And
I actually read in the article that the admin of the group said to people like, guys, let's stop posting, which I didn't really understand because it's a group where you're meant to post about dudes you're dating to find out, the tea, the goss, and, if they have shady past. And then the admin said, like, guys, we got to stop doing this because of X, Y reasons, obviously libel's easier to come by now, defamation. And then they came out and said that people just couldn't stop, like they couldn't help themselves but continue to post. And it's like, well, I kind of get that. That's what the group's there for. But, it turns out that the ladies, they need the goss, and dating someone without knowing anything seems like something of the past now.
I wonder if it's a good or bad thing that the group's being shut down, because I know a lot of people actually found it really helpful. Like I had a few people who had DM'd me after we chatted about it on the pod and said, "Oh, this group actually like saved my life."
Oh, no way.
The group saved them, that they were in a
As in
relationship.
they found someone
Yes.
that was, cheating two
They
times.
posted and then someone was like, "Yeah,
yeah, I'm
I'm
sure it could help. And then when we spoke about that it has its positives, but it also definitely has its negatives. And I think that the reason why these pages are getting shut down is perhaps the negatives are beginning to outweigh the positives.
Yeah.
And you're getting more trolls and more people, posting about false information and making accusations might not be true. And so,
Well, there you go, guys. Unfortunately, the groups might not be sticking around for very long. What you're gonna have to do instead is just chuck up a story of whoever you're dating on your Instagram or something and say, anyone dating this guy.
yeah, spill the tea.
Guys, today we are chatting all things friends, how to make new friends in adulthood, which, is incredibly hard, I think, and also how to break up with your friends and when to know if your friendship's it's run its course and what to do about that. Locke, have you ever had to break up with a friend?
Yeah. I wouldn't really call it a breakup, though. I just stopped really talking and communicating.
That's a form of friendship breakup.
They kind of got the gist of it. But yeah, when I was young, we had a group of 4 mates that lived in our area, and I'm talking like all within 2 streets. So we loved hanging out.
That's the
riding
dream as a kid.
Yeah, kicking the soccer ball every day. We'd hang out. We'd all go to each other's houses. Our families knew each other. Like parents were friends. It was really nice to grow up all together. And then when we got a little bit older, I'm talking maybe 16, 17. One guy in the group just kind of took a different course,
Okay.
He started getting into drinking and drugs, and he started, hanging out with the wrong people. He started stealing stuff and started getting in trouble, just like continuously. Not like, did something silly, got in trouble and thought, that's probably not the right thing for me to do. Just continuous, to the point where me and the 2 other boys, we kind of had to cut him off in fear of like getting caught up in the whirlwind that he was creating. And so, this was a guy that I was friends with probably since I was 5 years old. Like we played in under 5 soccer. That's where we, probably met. And then, 13 years later when we were almost 18, like we had to cut ties with him. And,
Right.
it was just.
Did you actively like approach it, or did you just kind of fizzle?
No, I just kind of stopped. Like, we spoke to him about his, like, not behavior. I don't want to sound like his dad, you know what I mean? But as in, we kind of said to him, like, man, we don't want to, we'd hang out. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, we would go and catch the bus somewhere on a Saturday morning into the city to go and, like just walk around as teenagers do on the weekend or something. And he would like bring booze and start drinking at like 9:30 in the morning, and we were kind of like, we don't want to do that, you know what I mean? Like we're kids, we're not into that, and so it just became this thing, and then we'd hang out with other people, and I remember we were hanging out with this girl once as well who was, lived in the area, and we were all mates, and she messaged me after we all left her house once, and she was like, hey, do you know anything about, X and Y gone missing? Like, like it was here, and then you guys came over and it's gone, and I straight away went, oh man, I think this guy's taken it, and we confronted him, and he had, stolen stuff from this girl's house. So just a lot of like negative behavior that we just didn't want to be wrapped up in, and so we did. We ended up just not really having him as part of our group anymore. And the other 2 dudes that were part of that, like we're still best buds today. Like they stood next to me at my wedding, and I see them and chat to them almost every day, so that friendship group that we had since we were 5, we're still strong, and we just we had to lose this loose unit, I guess.
You definitely kind of go through phases where you grow out of friendships a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah, like I think that there's a natural, when you finish high school almost, it's kind of like maybe it's an easy way to find new friends if you're kind of not jamming with the people that you were at school with, who you'd kind of just maybe stuck it out with, or you decide that, actually I really like these people, want to continue spending time with them. And I feel like that's a pivotal moment for a lot of people was that the kind of time period is when or were you a bit older?
Well, no, I just think you you kind of start thinking if you're going to hang out with these people making the wrong decisions, like you're going to perhaps go down a path you don't want to go down. And, you know, I'd see him get in trouble. Like I'm talking quite serious trouble, like with police and things. And, you know, I'm talking, he got to the point where he was getting in car accidents, drinking and stuff and crashing into other cars. Or once he drove into a building, you know, just like crazy things where I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be caught up in it.
But was
so
that
it's like
after,
you
just after school, or was
no,
it?
it was at the later ends of school, like year 11 and 12.
Okay.
Like when you start, you know, becoming a bit
Right.
more of a rebellious teenager, and some people just, you know, start making
Yeah.
shady decisions.
I went through this period where I did this so many times. I got really close to people really quickly. And I thought that it was because we connected so well. We had so much in common that we were just like immediately best friends. And I did this with a number of people.
At what age? Like young or?
Like young adult. Yeah, like probably between ranging between ages like 17 to, I don't know, 23 maybe. Maybe that's when I started kind of realizing what I was doing. There was a pattern occurring. Where I would find someone, we'd click, we'd hit it off, and then they would just like, we'd be attached at the hip and we would do everything together. We'd be really close really quickly. And then something would happen basically where I'd realize, oh, hang on, this isn't what I thought it was. I'm not really as aligned with this person as I thought I was. And I've also had experiences where, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this or been aware of it, where I've been love bombed in a friendship. And
What's that?
so love bombing is more commonly known to occur in like intimate relationships, but it's basically when someone comes in really hot, really fast and makes you feel as though basically they love you really quickly. Maybe not love, but they're really, really into you. You know, they're doing everything that you would imagine your dream person would do. They're showing you all that affection. They're making you feel really special. They're saying the right things, doing the right things, but actually their intentions aren't very pure, or they know that those are the things that are going to get the reaction that they want from you. And so they're kind of using it as a tool to almost manipulate you. Does that make sense?
It does, but that doesn't happen with blokes.
Blokes being love bombed?
I've never been love bombed by a dude in my whole life.
By a dude?
Yeah, like trying to be like friends with me or friendly with me or like, you know, create a friendship. Like never has that
I
happened.
don't know that I agree with that.
Oh, okay.
I would argue that you have actually,
By?
and you just didn't realize it. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, plaster the name on the wall, am I?
Okay.
We can talk
just
about it later.
give me like a keyword so I can remember who this person is, and then I can.
Well,
agree
let's
or
just talk about it
disagree.
later, sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
It's keywords. What are we going to
All
start?
right, we'll spill some tea on the
sign
pod, but
language
not all
on
of
the
it,
pod.
guys.
But basically, I've had friendships where people have done that, done things to get really close to me, and then later on, I've realized that they were actually probably using me.
Oh, okay. For?
I don't know, what their own personal gain, to get closer to other people, to do things that they wanted to be involved in. I don't know, to make friends with my friends. Who knew? Who knows? Benefit some kind off the friendship, whatever that may be. So yeah, you can definitely be love bombed by a friend. Have you ever been love bombed by anyone though, like that you can think of? Not just friends, but do you know what I'm talking about when I say love bombing?
Yeah, like someone that's just really into you really quickly and to like quite an extreme level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a connection to begin with, and then later on it kind of unravels and you realise, oh, actually they were just doing exactly what they knew I wanted them to do, basically.
Yeah, but I don't think that, I don't know, just speaking from a male perspective, I don't,
It's
like,
not
that's
happening
never
as
what
much.
I want. Like as in when you say like,
No.
that's what I wanted to hear or feel. Like I don't ever want to feel that. Like, so I don't think that maybe it happens as much with blokes, but I
Probably.
can see it happening with girls. And I know what you're saying, and I can even think of a few people who I, you know, feel have done that to you. And so yeah, I definitely know what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
But
So I've kind of like over time realised that, and then I've had to distance myself from, you know, people like that.
yeah, but do you specifically like break up with them?
I've had
brush them.
I've had friend breakups, but they're generally like they've been not nice. It's not been like I don't know how many people that have had like a gentle breakup with a friend. I know people have had amicable breakups with partners and then they stay friends, but I don't really know many people who've had amicable breakups with friends. I don't know if that's possible. It's almost more heartbreaking.
Intimate.
Yeah.
I get that because I'm saddened by the fact that one we spoke about at the beginning with my friend of 13 years. Like I'm saddened at the fact that we're no longer friends and that he went down a path that, that has definitely saddened me more than any breakup that I've ever had, before you, obviously. So I can understand that, but
it's weird, isn't it? Because you can't imagine sitting down and having a conversation with someone who's a friend and going, hey, this isn't really working for me. I really like you as a friend because you're no longer being friends with them. How do you do that?
I feel it more just naturally takes its course. You know?
That's
like
the
you
thing.
Stop talking as much.
Yeah,
you stop
drift.
hanging out as much. You just drift, and then you make other friends, or you hang out with more people, or you're prioritizing other things.
But
it just happens.
Guys, I need to know if you've ever sat down with a friend and broken up with them. Please tell me how it went, because I'm dying to know. I saw a video on TikTok the other day.
Most sentences that Jadé say to me actually start with that.
Well, that's where I get most of my information from these days.
That's terribly scary.
And it's really divided people in the comment section.
What has?
This video. Where this girl was saying that she finds it, basically it's really weird when people don't have new friends and are only friends with old friends from school, for example. She said that it's really strange. How can you do that? I think it's a huge red flag. And the comments...
What? It's a red flag to have a steady relationship for a long time with people since childhood.
Well, that's what I found, right? That was my opinion.
Like
and then I've gone into the comments because I'm like, weird. Because I think it's almost maybe the opposite. I don't know. Neither are really red flags, but I went into the comments and there were a lot of people saying, agreed, it's so weird when people are only friends with people they've known from school. Yep, so strange. How can you do that? I don't know anyone from school, blah, blah, blah. I don't have anyone in my circles from my childhood. And I found that really weird because all my closest friends are from my childhood, are from like my youngest years that I can possibly remember. And they've been with me throughout my entire life. There's been ebbs and flows of talking to them more or talking to them less, of course, as I've kind of found my way throughout life, as a teen, as a young adult. And I'm so grateful for that group of friends now because there's just something that you can't, in my opinion, there's a way that they know you that new friends just can't possibly know you. You've had shared experiences throughout
there's no substitute
your childhood. Yes, exactly. And that history that's there, really. But yeah, I find it really interesting that there's a large portion of people who completely disagree and think that it's weird if you don't have any new friends and you only have old friends.
Well, I guess people are just going to argue for whichever one they have, right? So
yeah.
If they have no childhood friends, they're going to go, it means nothing.
I don't think that if I only had new friends and I drifted from my old, I would find it weird if you only had old friends.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's not finding it weird. It's being the person to argue about it in a comment section on a TikTok video.
Sure.
You're not that person.
Yeah.
So, but as in, there's people that would feel the need to, argue about it and pull people to their side, which is that's the stranger element, I guess.
Yeah, but I think that's a really interesting thing is that some people prefer to only have new friends in their lives.
So do you think it's weird? Like, I know that your group of friends is from high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And primary school.
Okay, and primary school. So I have two really close mates from primary school. We've known each other since we were pretty much fetuses.
Yeah. Fetuses?
And then I don't have any from high school.
Yeah.
Do you find that weird?
No, because you've just explained that to me. Well, you already have, but...
Yeah, but then I also made a group of friends as an adult,
yes.
like when I left, the environment of school and went into the workplace, and I met, like-minded people who, enjoyed the same things as me, liked working hard, training, and then, you find this new group of people, and they're still my closest buds today, which I hang out with, and we're, at our wedding, and but I think also when you become more of an adult, less of a kid and less free time and, you're married, you work, you have a family, like I barely have time to see the friends that I want to see, let alone being an adult and making new friends. So I don't even understand how you would come to do that, like when I have a free hour, like I think since having Fletcher, I think he's almost 5 months old, I've gone out to 2 dinners with my mates in 5 months, like as in, seriously, that's it. But it's like,
and that's a lot.
If you're in that position, how are you going to find new mates? So I don't even have time for my current mates, so as an adult,
I think
I don't know if you can.
I think the only way people are making new friends as an adult is through things like groups, like classes.
Like sis, are we dating the same guy?
Maybe. Not on the line. I think more like you've gone to a pottery class or you've gone to a dance class or that run club thing that everyone's doing.
That's just like a IRL Tinder.
Or work. I think people are making friends through work also.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's
that being the main one.
But like you're not going to walk up to a stranger on the train.
But is that just convenience and proximity? Like work. It's like, you're around them all day. It's the same as me being at school with these dudes. It's like if you no longer worked in that workplace, would you stay friends with them? So. Well,
I'm sure some people, yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people keep friends from certain workplaces. Some people drift, obviously. But I think, some people make friends. They've maybe worked together for 5 years and then moved on and stayed friends. Yeah, I think so. That's the way that I make friends now is through work or events or, and I've made a lot of really great friends actually in that way, which is awesome. As I was saying earlier, you're not going up to someone on a train who you've decided you'd probably get along with and ask them to be your friend.
How do you decide you get along with them?
That's what I mean. When you're a kid,
I'm asking you, how would you look at someone on a train and go, I would get along with you?
I don't know. You might dress the same. You're reading the same book.
Okay.
You're both reading A Court of Thorns and Roses.
What's that?
Don't worry, sweetheart.
It's porn again, isn't it? You sicko.
The girlies understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, that's how you make friends as a kid. You're not doing that as an adult. So there needs to be some sort of mutual ground. Like
Do you know there's friend apps?
Yeah, I know, but come on.
What do you mean, come on?
How often are there people using those?
I don't know.
You know what, actually? I reckon
they must be using them, otherwise they wouldn't exist.
No, I feel like if you moved country, yes, I would do that, perhaps. If I've moved overseas on my own, I would maybe consider doing that.
Using an app?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do you think that if you're not moving overseas and you're in the country that you're in using the app to find friends, is that odd? Or is that fair play?
No, it's fair. It's nice that it's there.
You said, that was your initial reaction. And then I feel like you've gone, that might sound bad to people. So I'm now going to backtrack and give a politically correct way of going, actually, it's fine, guys.
No.
Like, what do you actually feel about
No,
it?
because I'm not in that position. So I don't know how that would feel. Like, I'm lucky to have, some great friends around me. So I'm not going on an app tomorrow. But I might if I was really, really desperate, yeah.
All right, guys. If you saw Jadé's face, then I don't know if she's being completely honest here. It's okay to be like, I wouldn't use an app to find friends. Like, that's totally fine.
I'm not hooked up to a lie detector because I'll be in trouble, I reckon.
Because
my heart rate spikes.
It's okay to be a confident person and be, like social, and you're fine with having conversations with people and striking them up, and that's fine. But some people don't have those skills, which means it's fine for them to use the app. I'm asking personally, would you? And the answer is okay to be no.
Probably not.
Because I remember when I used to work...
But I get how it would be helpful.
Yeah, when I used to work at the bar in the early afternoons, like I'm talking, sometimes I'd get there at, I'd work 3 till 3. The crowd at 3 p.m. is very different to the crowd at 11 p.m.
Is it a mixer?
But what I was getting at is that there was this thing called Meetup, right?
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it was an app or, it might have been a website or something whereby there were like categories on this thing. It might be like a badminton meetup or an archery meetup or a medieval, it was just like things that people are interested in. You'd like join the group and then they'd have like, we'll meet here and we can all hang out and have a drink and stuff. And I remember that they would book in sometimes and we would, get the bookings for these meetups. And when the people came, they're all like, I wouldn't describe them as like like confident people. They're all kind of a little bit shy, a little bit reserved. And so, like, perhaps it was a good thing for them to be, forced into this social scenario where they perhaps found it harder in, work situations or, real life situations to make friends. So I can see the benefit of it for some, but definitely not all. Like, I don't think you could pay me to find a friend on an app.
No, but you know what you could do? Some people might be doing this, is becoming friends because of like Instagram or TikTok. I've made friends on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, but think about the confidence that it takes to...
You message each other and go, you want to go grab a coffee? I've done that a few times, actually. It's really lovely.
But that's what I'm saying, is that's a confidence thing, right?
Sure.
Like, as in, to do that to a stranger on the internet, to have a little chit-chat and then go, hey,
you
let's
also
meet up
already have mutual ground. Like, you both...
You've seen each other take a photo, yeah.
Okay, you have similar interests. You've both followed each other's lives. It's like you know one another.
Feel like you know one another.
Yeah,
Can't know someone through a photo.
No, I said it's like you know one another.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to make friends, I think. DM someone. Want to grab a coffee? If you already have, like, you've already bantered a little bit back and forth.
I feel like that's interesting advice, right?
Why?
Well, think about it, okay?
People do that.
If you DM someone,
Yeah.
oh, hello, my name's Jadé. I've got 500,000 followers on this platform and this platform.
No, but
A lot of
you've
people know
already
me. I'm very
connected.
beautiful. Like, hey,
What?
let's get a coffee. Someone would probably go, yeah, that sounds lovely. Imagine if Steve down the road, 25 followers, no photos, DM someone going, hey, let's be friends and get a coffee. It's not going to work.
It's not that. You're not just shooting your shot with anyone. I mean, like, if you already follow one another and you've kind of built this internet friendship, then take that outside of the internet.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Not just, but you just said
Leave
just DM
Steve
someone
alone.
to hang out.
Steve's
I actually
just
like
shooting
that.
his shot.
Take it outside of the internet and turn it into real life. I think that's definitely
Or
better.
like maybe you can make friends. I know people who've made friends from gaming. They game and they speak to people on their headsets.
I actually have a mate who made a really good friend through that, and they went to each other's weddings and stuff.
Exactly.
And they just played games online. Yeah, that's kind of cute.
Like, that's really nice. That's a good way to make friends. If you game.
Have you ever done it with someone? Have you
Done
ever?
a deed?
Have you ever?
Yeah,
we did it once minimum.
We've got a baby.
Fletcher.
Yeah,
but
so.
no, I'm saying, have you ever met up with someone online where you had an internet friendship, right?
Yeah.
You met up online, you thought it was going to be all that, and then you were like, oh, actually,
Yes.
they're actually a bit dull.
Yep.
And I don't want to continue that. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing that in the car on the way home.
They were just not what they put themselves out there to be. They placed themselves as this really genuine, sweet kind of person, and then when I met them I was a bit like, oh, you're actually quite like sassy and I feel kind of intimidated by you.
Oh, okay.
And they I don't know, it was a weird one. Yeah, it has happened.
Fair enough. Doesn't always work, guys. So DM's like a 50-50.
Yeah, I think the internet would love to know who I'm talking about, but can't say. Sorry.
Can't spill the tea.
Cannot.
Can only throw shade at Locke.
Yes.
All right, guys, ending this week with none other than our Ask Mum and Dad section. Now, I did get a message from a girl, and it says, hi, Mum and Dad, love the pod. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years. In brackets, we live together. I feel safe and secure, and it's the best relationship I've ever had. However, I've got a problem. I can't stop looking at the girls he follows and checking to see if he's liked or commented on their posts, especially some Insta baddies he follows.
I've been there, sister.
He doesn't obsessively like photos of bikini girls or anything, but there have been a few, in quotation marks, sexier photos of girls he has liked, and it makes me feel like self-conscious because I never post stuff like that. How do I stop feeling like this, and how can I reduce the effect it has on my self-confidence? Thanks for your advice.
Oh, I'm sorry, because that's not nice. I think you got to tell him. You just got to be honest and tell him that, hey, hang on. Now that I'm thinking about this, hey, I've been stalking you.
I mean, worked for you. Married me.
Hang, I'm going through your list of followers, your list of following. I'm checking each account and I've noticed, because you know what? They removed that page they used to have. Do you remember? Where it told you who was liking what.
Yeah.
Which that drove me crazy back in the day when I was dating people. Yeah. So I understand how you feel. But yeah, you know what? If you're telling him that you're stalking, who he's following and then looking at their photos and then, that's
but
probably
if you're
not
in a
going to work out for
relationship and
you.
you say it's the best relationship you've ever been in, so obviously you want it to continue. It's like, don't you want to just be honest with him? And it's like, it's okay if something makes you feel uncomfortable.
If I told you I was going through your list of who you're following,
yeah,
clicking each account and checking the photos to see if you'd like them.
I would be like, that's a lot of research. Like,
Oh, come on.
but I would also, I don't know.
Come on.
But I would feel bad that I was making you feel insecure or not self-confident. So I would also want to know if I was doing something that was, impacting you like that.
But maybe you'd come around to that conclusion after an initial shock period. That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
But it's also just it's something very public. Obviously, if you're liking and commenting on people's photos,
It is,
that you
but
don't
it's
know.
It is, but
So-
it's not because you got to dig for it.
Yeah, but who cares? It's like that's like finding out that someone's doing something shady. If you had to dig for it, like that, you've still found them doing something that you don't like, and it's shady.
Yeah, but
Like, let's just go to the start, right? Is it okay what he's doing?
well, some people think it is. There's an argument. It's a big conversation online.
I don't really think it's necessary, right? Like, you don't
Absolutely.
you don't need to like or comment on
No.
some bikini babe's photo that
Why?
you don't know. Like, what's the point of it? Like,
There's
if you look
literally
at
no
it,
reason
if
for
you
that.
look at it, that's one thing. But liking it and commenting is
Yeah.
like this. It seems strange to me. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
is what he's doing wrong in the first place?
I think
To
so.
you, yes.
Yeah.
So then, why is it? What's the issue with her finding out about it and then bringing it up with him?
Well, it's because of how
Like,
she's
wouldn't that-
found out. It implies that she doesn't trust him already.
Yeah, but that's
Before
okay
finding
because he
out.
was doing something that you deem to be not appropriate. So what's the issue?
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that like what you would classify as gaslighting? If like then he said, "Oh well, you stalked me to find
Yes,
out."
yes.
Exactly. So then where's the issue? I'm confused.
Well,
Like, whose side are you on?
no, I'm on her side because I agree. I think that that's wrong. But I'm saying if you admitted it, it would probably come across a bit weirdly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, who cares? Like, as in,
Sure.
like, if it's something that your partner's doing that you don't like, and you really
You're
love your
gonna have to
partner
be
and you want to
honest
continue,
anyway, yeah.
it's like you got to go, "Hey, you're doing this thing I don't like." Yeah, it's been making me feel this way, so I've done a bit of a deep dive, which I don't feel good about. But it's unfortunately that is
Yeah.
how it's made me feel.
That's a good way to
which
word
I
it,
don't
do
I don't
that.
really like. But here we are.
Yeah, I think you do. You probably would have to bring it up, especially if it's continuing to occur, and especially if it's bothering you.
I would just say, why? Like, what are you trying to get out of it?
Well, yeah, because then I wonder, like, is he trying to indicate that he's interested in these
Like,
people?
are you hoping that she starts commenting on your photos, going, "Oh, looking good at the
Are you
beach with the
wanting
boys"?
a DM? Like, what's the crack there? And where does it end? Like, is he liking their stories? Apparently, that's a bit more intimate. Did you
What do
know that?
mean? No. What do you mean? Apparently, like,
I'm
are
on the
these,
interweb.
like- yeah, but how do you?
Chats, comment sections,
But if you
threads.
see one person say that, is that then just apparent?
It's not one. It's multiple.
What if you like someone's story? That's like, ooh,
That's like a thing, yeah. That's more than liking their photo.
oh wow, that's
Because it goes to
Heavy
their,
duty.
it can potentially go to their DMs, I think, if you follow one another.
oh okay.
Yeah.
Sucks to grow up in this new world, doesn't it?
It really does. There's so much you have to stalk. Yeah.
So, what's your advice for this lovely girl?
I think you got to tell him. You've got to tell him. You've got to tell him that it's bothering you. You've got to just be open and honest and say, look, or
Wait, you've got to say, look, open and honest, and then just Jad's got to another thought already.
Hang on.
She's moved.
okay, I've got another way you can do it on the sly. Follow the girls, right? So you're following them too. And then when you bring it up, you can say, well, I actually followed them as well. So I see your name pop up all the time.
Wait, so you're creating a weirder situation to be even more weird.
Yeah, I think you just got to tell him you stalked him and
Why
you
don't
don't
just-
like it.
I think you just tell him that it makes you feel a certain way. It doesn't make you feel confident.
Yeah.
As you said, like it messes with your head a bit, and that's fine and understandable. If you're in a committed relationship for literally years,
Yeah.
I'd be weirded out if Jad was liking all these, what do they call it, muscle down under boys that would,
Sorry?
the guys that do like
No.
the equivalent of stripping, but for
What's
for
muscle
ladies.
down under?
Isn't there a thing that was called like
Oh, the down under Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Rumble Down Under.
They
or something.
weren't they
just,
in Texas or something?
I don't know. It was just Aussie dudes
Las
that were,
Vegas.
super fit dudes. I would find it weird if you were like liking and commenting
There's
on.
that one guy that looks like he looks a lot like.
I didn't know you'd know them specifically.
Wait. Who is it? Who's that guy that's in Step Up? Oh my God. Channing Tatum. Thank you. Yeah. Have you seen him?
Have I seen Channing Tatum?
The other guy, the Aussie guy that looks like Channing Tatum.
No, I don't.
He's made a career off stripping, looking like Channing
I
Tatum.
don't watch the Muscle Down Under guys obviously as much as you. I actually
Yes,
didn't
you
know
do.
that you knew them.
No, I've just now you've jogged my memory, but you are clearly very interested in Muscle Down Under guys.
Yeah, ladies, I think if your man's doing this, I think you have every right to just let him know it doesn't really make you feel comfortable, and maybe you need to have a chat about it. Because
what if he says,
here we go.
"It's really bothering me that you have gone to do that, and I don't think it's your business whose photos I like."
Well, you would say, "Stop gaslighting me."
Yeah, it's grounds for a divorce, I reckon.
What? I would just say you're an idiot. That's not an argument. So you
go argument void.
no, I would just say you can address my feelings first, and then we'll get to yours after.
I love that from you.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using
And
that.
then you can say that thing to me and you go, "It's not about the nail."
No,
that
I
a
hate
thing?
you for that. That everyone needs to Google right now. It's not about the nail. It's a very good video. And it's a woman, I'll tell you now, but you have to watch it. She's got a nail in her head and she's gone to her partner, like literally a nail sticking out of her forehead. And she's gone to her partner and she's going, I've got this excruciating pain. It's in my head and I don't know what it is and it's really bothering me. And he goes, "I think it's the nail in your forehead." And she's like, no, you're not listening to me. You're not understanding. It's this pain and it just won't go away. And he's like, yeah, it might be the nail. It's probably the nail that's sticking out of your head. And basically the point of the video is she just wanted him to listen and acknowledge her feelings and give her a cuddle.
Jad actually sent me this video
Not
once,
provide
it was literally
solutions.
her way of saying, "Look, you need to listen to understand instead of listen to respond." And I was
Yeah, but
watching
no,
it.
that's a good point.
Yeah, but I was watching the video, and all I could think is like, this idiot's got a nail in her head. Like, she really needs to address that. And you were trying to teach me the opposite, so it just didn't really make sense.
But that's the point of the video is that it's not about the nail. My mum sent it to me. It's really good.
Oh man, so I'm actually getting relationship advice from your mum.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
But no, the point is you need to sit and acknowledge someone's feelings before addressing the solution that you think that you have. Because people don't want solutions. They want acknowledgement and love, tender love and care.
Okay, we really got sidetracked.
How did we get here? You brought it up.
Have a chat to your man. Let us know how it goes, and just know that there's nothing wrong with feeling the way you're feeling and asking him to please stop this sort of behaviour. So go nuts. Let us know how you go.
We think just to be clear, we think he's in the wrong. We agree.
Yeah.
It's not right.
So do your thing and let us know how
We're
it goes.
validating your emotions. And if it doesn't work out well and he starts gaslighting you and you break up, worst case scenario, you can go to the Muscle Australian Men Down Under.
Sounds like a plan. Guys, we appreciate you checking in once again. It's Mad About You. Another week done and dusted. If you did have an Ask Mum and Dad for us or anything you wanted us to discuss on the pod, feel free to write in to madaboutyou@novapodcast.com.au. And as always, don't forget, leave a 5-starer.
Thanks for listening and love you and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.